So let's have a look at a few different paramotor designs. The harness setup can either be one where the supporting bars come under your arms and attach to the harness, as we're having a look at this one. And then if we have a look at this one, which is exactly the same engine, it's just got a ground adjustable 3-blade propeller on, which has the advantage of allowing you to set the pitch of the prop, which in turn will determine what RPM you need to get out of the spinning propeller. And this for most paramotors should be between 2400 and 2800 RPM. This is easily verified by a little rev counter which you can buy from most model aeroplane shops, and you just hold it away from the propeller and it will determine what RPM it's doing. This paramotor is exactly the same as the previous one, however it uses J bars, and the bars, instead of coming under your arm to support the harness, come out over your shoulders. It's an older design and very easily converted to the under the arm bars by taking these J bars out and attaching a new harness system, which really consists of a bar, either square tubing or round tubing such as that, which is welded to your frame. A bar slots in with a securing bolt, and at the end over here is just secured to the harness via 2 pop rivets or bolted to it. Okay, so if we compare the two propeller systems, this is a set 2-blade wooden propeller which has been designed, the pitch and the length, specifically for the RPM and horsepower of this engine. The one we have over here is a 3-blade ground adjustable one, which, as I mentioned, will allow you to play with the pitch, which you set via a protractor on the ground, and if it runs too slowly or too fast, this can be adjusted by either altering the pitch to allow the propeller to spin faster or to slow it down. Both these engines have a tune pipe on, which is a big tune pipe, and effectively what that job is to do is to increase the horsepower and allow you to develop more thrust. Okay, as far as bolting your propeller directly to the engine is concerned, you'll notice that the propeller is not bolted directly to the crank, which is coming out over here. The reason being that you don't bolt it on directly onto the crank is that the propeller will, in most instances, be spinning too fast. So in other words, if your engine is spinning at, say, 7,000 or 10,000 or 14,000 RPM, within reason, that's what your propeller is going to do. It's going to make the prop very inefficient, and the tips will end up breaking the sound barrier. So apart from being very noisy, it becomes very inefficient. So what we do is we bolt a small pulley onto the crank, and it's geared down via a big pulley that you can see directly above it. The prop is then bolted directly onto the big pulley, and depending on the reduction ratio between the small one and the big one, for example, if it's 3.5 or 4 to 1, in other words the big pulley is 4 times as big as the small one, the prop will be governed down or slowed down 4 times. So your 16,000 RPM from the engine will be governed down by a ratio of 4 to 1, which would make it 4,000 RPM. Now that's still pretty inefficient in terms of propeller RPM is concerned, and we need to keep it down to 2.4 to 2.8. So one would govern it down, or make a big pulley or a small pulley. Okay, as far as your clip-in points onto your harness are concerned, this specific design has a sliding buckle. Obviously the carabiners of your glider will clip in over there, and depending on your weight, you will slide this buckle down or you'll slide it further up the strap. In other words, if you're a heavy pilot, you'll have the clip-in buckle further down here. So when you do get into the harness, the weight pulls the whole propeller setup forwards, and the prop will be almost vertical or about 10 to 12 degrees back from the vertical. If you're a very light pilot, you will slide the strap further back up here, and that will allow your weight to compensate, again bringing the prop back to the vertical or slightly back off the vertical.